The gentlewoman from Richmond City, Ms. McClellan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Point of personal privilege.
Gentlewoman has floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In keeping with our moments in Black history, I'd like to talk a little bit about Richard and Mildred Loving. And most of you know the story that on June 2nd, 1958, Mildred and Richard went to Washington, D.C. to get married because they could not get married in Virginia because of the anti-miscegenation laws. But in the wee hours of the morning, 5 weeks later, the Caroline County Sheriff, Garnett Brooks, burst into their bedroom and tossed them in jail. The Lovings were ordered to leave the state and not to return together for 25 years. Their case would end up going to the Supreme Court. And when told that their case was going to the court to challenge interracial marriage, Richard Loving was shocked. He was a man of few words, but he said to his lawyer, "Tell the court that I love my wife, and it's unfair that I can't live with her in Virginia." This was not a case done out of a love for civil rights, but for the love of two people. And that love will be showcased in a documentary tomorrow night on Valentine's Day on HBO. The film will chronicle the 1967 Supreme Court decision that struck down prohibitions against interracial marriage. It will show two unpretentious people who were simply in love and naive about the restrictions on interracial marriage. And part of their naivete stemmed from the fact that in their town of Central Point, an agrarian community, blacks and whites socialized together all the time, and many even married. No one knows why the Lovings were singled out for prosecution, but many think it was because Richard Loving proudly displayed his marriage certificate on his wall, framed, because he was not ashamed. What started out as a simple love story between two very unpretentious people would go on to become one of the most landmark civil rights cases in American history, with far-reaching implications. And what is interesting to note is 50 years after they were arrested, 1 out of 8 marriages in 2008 were interracial. So they were groundbreakers. And I invite you all tomorrow night, hopefully we'll get out early enough, to look at their story based on newly discovered documentary evidence. And remember that it was all about love. Thank you.